you stream tonight?
Hi, welcome to Subcreation. I'm Nathan. I'm an artist and designer, and this channel is about creative process. Tonight I'm going to talk a little bit about on the topic of creative process. Oh, I'm seeing I'm completely out of focus. Oh, I guess I just need to scoot forward here a little bit. Tonight we're going to talk a bit about structuring your creative time, and we're going to do that with this channel here. So I'm going to talk through that. Actually, I need to, if you give me a second, I'm going to fix this camera. Okay, I think that's a little better. Sorry about that. Hi, Catlin. Thanks for joining. It's having a little problem with the focus there, but I think we've got it worked out. Oh, forgot to use my new emote. There we go. Okay, so I think that's a little better. All right, so yeah, so what I was saying is, so the agenda for tonight, first we're going to talk a little bit about structuring your creative time to get the most out of it. And I'm going to do that. We're going to jump into a sort of like a 3D whiteboard space where I'm going to sort of draw out how I'm hoping to use this time. And then, well, you know what, that'll give you a pretty clear picture of everything that's going to be happening. So I'll just jump into that rather than explain it before I explain it. So you're going to want to be able to see here in Did we have audio that whole time? I realized I may just realized that may not have had audio. Does anyone have their audio on to be able to tell? All right, well, I have a feeling we may not have had audio in there. That being the case, I'm going to try really quick to, go ahead and try to fix that real quick. Let's see. Let's see. I think this is, audio capture 2. And I'm going to paste. All right, testing. Okay, I think we have audio now. All right, so we're going a little long on this section because I just realized that we didn't have audio that whole time. And so it looked like I was just talking to myself, and it seems like it probably didn't matter because I'm guessing that maybe the people who are watching didn't have their audio on because nobody said anything. So I guess that's what happened. All I was trying to say is this is the plan for these next 2 hours. I'm trying to stick to a 2-hour format. That reason I'm doing this is I'm trying to follow a particular arc. I want to have there be things to be high key, have interest, and then for things to go sort of wind down as the stream continues. It's sort of an inverse of the usual arc that you have for movies and entertainment, where people are usually trying to kind of build things up, but in this case we're trying to wind down. So that was the idea there. And the activities I've planned for the stream to keep things interesting in the first half is we have this intro right now where I'm talking and explaining this principle. This is actually principle design. I do this in my meetings at work, and I find it makes your time more productive. It gives things a sense of urgency as you're going through these things. So what we're going to do is finish this intro, which we're a little over on time now. We're going to get into GAN braiding. I'm just going to do that for a little bit. Then we're going to do a Rubik solve. We're going to do some sketching. Then we're going to do a new activity called the GAN journal, which is going to be where I'm going to read a story to you that is a very small, extremely a micro story, micro episode of a story that is based on inspiration from GAN art. And then we're going to finish off with a charcoal drawing for the last 40 minutes or so. So this should go pretty quick. I don't know if we'll do this time exactly, but we'll try. And this is about here. So we've cut into the GAN braiding time. And now that we did that with sound, we can move into GAN braiding. So I'm going to pull up that site and jump over here. Oops. There we go. Okay, so GAN braiding, for anyone who didn't see, I don't know if Bruce, if you were here, I don't know if you're following. But if you didn't catch on Sunday, Sunday we were doing this activity. Basically, this is a tool that uses generative adversarial networks to create photorealistic art. You can see these two images here look like photos, and there's really nothing to indicate that they aren't photos. Even this one here, these all look like things that could be really happening in the real world. And these weren't created with a camera. They weren't painted by an artist. They were done by computers. Two essentially AIs were set up to compete to try to outsmart each other in order to create these images, where One is called the generator, and its job is to try to create images that look like real photos. Oh, I just see that I might be missing some chat. Let me pull down the. I realize I can't see the. Oops, I lost my. There we go. I'm having a little bit of trouble with Windows. This would seem like a very. There we go. All right. Your stream is lagging. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me look at my. Let me look at my. It says 15. I've got 0 drop frames, so I'm sorry to say that might just be your. See, my dashboard says no dropped frames. Sorry. So sorry about that. Hopefully things will straighten out there for you. Maybe try restarting, because I have really low bit rate, and yeah, sorry about that. Okay, so anyway, we can see, so as we go down here, now this might look like a photo, but you look at this and it starts to look a little bit, there are some things about it that just seem a little unnatural. And then you get over into here, this just kind of looks like abstract craft of some kind. Looks like something that was made by materials. And then you have over here, this looks pretty surreal. You have some sort of like a glowing crystal thing. Almost looks more like a collage. Then we go down here, and this looks very surreal. It's like it's floating or something, almost like sci-fi art. Another sci-fi art looking type thing. And this is getting somewhere between abstract, sci-fi, and adversarial. Anyway, the point is that it's you get all kinds of different styles of art from this, and a lot of it's up to the interpretation of the viewer, how you'd categorize it. But these are all just different kinds of art. To my mind anyway. And a lot of people looked at it and said, I've heard from people, they look at it and they say, oh, this is really just a tool for abstract art. I think it's true that it primarily makes a lot of abstract art. To me, it's a lot like a Rorschach test. They're like photoreal Rorschach tests. And when we get later on to the, excuse me, when we get into the project I'm doing with the GAN journal, you'll see how I'm using them to kind of create realistic illustrations or surreal illustrations to go along with stories that I'm developing, in which case it's not really abstract at all. So without further ado, these are some of the new ones. These are images that I've found. Images that other people created. So there are a couple things you can do with this. You can go into browse. You can find the featured art images are all pretty good, but they're also everyone, of course, has seen them. If you go into all, you can find things people are creating right now, and there's some kind of gross human ones in there. If I scroll down, so I'm not going to keep scrolling because I don't like it when people use the human. You can see there's one right there. I find that rather disturbing. I actually would like to show, I created a few that I really liked in my profile. I actually did start working on trying to see if I can incorporate people into it a little bit. You can see I have some sort of indoor, almost like, I don't know what these would be. They're on the border of being surreal and almost sci-fi. Like this one to me looks like some sort of alien or animal type, maybe fantasy type creature looking into a screen. So there's some interesting things like that. But anyway, going further, this one is someone else did that I see as looking like a figure, but it's kind of an unrealistic figure. But here it is. So I did this one where you basically, if I can get them where they're small enough and far enough away or looking away, you can have these figures that add a lot of interest to the composition, but they don't. You can see like this one is clearly the back of somebody's head. They have like a ponytail. This one, you don't know. This could be somebody facing forward and you can't see their face because it's so dark. Or it could be an artistic effect that their face is blotted out, but it could also simply be, it really does look like they're facing forward to me, but it could be that they're facing the other way and this is just the back of their head. So here are a couple of other ones like that I did. It does seem to do animals pretty well, but this is one I was really taken with. This one looks like perhaps a woman standing in front of I picture this initially as being maybe near on the outside of a boat. Maybe she's looking over the railing of a boat, or maybe this is a deck and she's looking over the deck, or it could be that this is a stage and that's the audience, or really it looks like an empty coliseum behind her. So I thought that was really interesting. And then this one right here, this one really looks like some sort of like maybe a restaurant, an open restaurant on the ocean. See, I'll pull that up. And this also looks like a woman in a dress. You can see her shoulders and her hair. And you see if you keep the details reduced enough, it looks a little bit like the top of a head, like an old man's head right here. And there's some other figures that have no details. But you see if you can just get one that doesn't actually have too much like face or arms and legs, they can stay pretty decent. This looks like it might be somebody in some sort of a very interesting feather fur-like outfit that must be made from maybe like a dragon or something with that kind of feather that we've never seen, like a furry feather. So it's some sort of fantasy creature that was used to make this this cloak and this hat. And this person's facing off into an empty space. Here we have people in some very brightly colored stuff. They're either walking together or maybe it's a dance or something. And I have one more here where this really looks like a person in some kind of extravagant dress. Maybe it's a dancer or something, and you can see how their arms are outstretched. I feel this one is pretty compelling. It's pretty moving. And then there's some of these are just like, it's just like as if this is a dress that somebody is designing and they're just showing off the dress. It looks almost like fashion art, alien fashion art. So that gives you kind of an example of some of the things I've been doing with it lately. And I would like to just jump in and do a little bit of GAN breeding. How are we on time? Oh, we are late on time, so we're gonna do this pretty quick. You can see, like I was saying, when they have facial features and stuff, I find it really disturbing. And so that's part of art sometimes, is filtering out what you don't like. Trying to art direction is about amplifying the positive and filtering out the things that aren't working. I'm gonna have to add some genes to this because this is way too simple. So let's go ahead and add small objects. And we will add, let's go and add this barrel, make a child. Let's turn the barrel up and maybe turn the Windsor tie down. Got a little more interesting, at least that it's outside. Let's add some more genes because there's not that much happening here. So let's say, go into small objects and book jacket, no, bubble, no. Cassette though, cassette sounds interesting. We'll add that. It needs more cassette, and it needs less upright. See, now you're getting some sort of interesting, because it's wood still, it still looks like furniture. we'll go ahead and go with that and see. So now as you do the, I don't know how well you can see because it's, I gotta make the window smaller so we can actually scroll. So it's pulling out different, it's actually introducing other random genes to it. And it's interesting, there's some stuff happening there in the background. We'll make more children because these don't seem that strong. And go ahead and this seems to be getting a little interesting over here. Looks like it's combined. It's, now you'd think, when I look at something like this, I'll think, okay, it must be adding in a boat. But then you'll go and look at the genes and you'll see that it didn't add a boat. What it added was it the barrow? It added a lot of the barrow. Not sure what that is. I'm going to take that down because that seems like too much barrow. But now you just make more. I like this because you have a lot of this color getting introduced in here. So oftentimes I kind of steer towards the color. I look for interesting colors and I steer into that. I think you have more though. I'm going to go for more variety. Got some more color in there. And in here, but I'm going to keep going and see what else we get. So far we haven't actually made anything. It's not until you actually hit the heart button that you've made something. We're still just sort of exploring. Let's see, I think that looks pretty similar. Is there anything better about this one though? Not really. All right, let's keep going. I kind of like that. I think it's getting better. It's getting more complex anyway. Getting a lot more color now. I'm tempted to go toward this one. And we'll make some more. Sometimes it's all just about patience to see what you get. All right. I think I like it better without the roof that was there, so I'm going to go ahead and take that out. Seems to be adding some complexity here in the middle. That might be interesting, so I'll go ahead and go with that. I'm going to go ahead and go with this one. This one seems to be the most interesting thing that's happened so far. It does look a little bit car-like. What's interesting is you'll look in this, and I don't think there is any car in the genes, because I think what's actually happening is that the generator that is creating this knows how to create everything. I think what's happening is these genes are being used to try to make sense of layers of information. So it's building up sort of a structure. This is the way I'm interpreting. I don't know if this is how it actually works, but I think each of these genes sort of build up patterns that are like the Rorschach test. And then finally the generator looks at all of these compiled sets of of information layered on top of each other, and then I think it, like a Rorschach test, tries to figure out what it means. And so it knows how to draw all these different things. As it goes through it, it sees something that it thinks looks like a car, and it's starting to fill it in like a car there, and it gets down here and it says, oh, this looks more like the bottom of, like, I don't know, a sewing machine or something. And so it's basically trying to make sense of what it's seeing and rendering it, but I don't think it's strictly trying to draw the things that it sees in the gene set. I think it's trying to draw anything that looks like it makes sense to it. So we'll keep going with try to get more variety here, because I feel like it still has a ways to go. Oh, I seem to have lost. Bummer, I seem to have lost. There we go. This was the one we wanted. Okay. So we're going to bring up the difference, generate more and more. Once you have a sufficiently complex gene set, you'll tend to you'll be able to generate a variety of image types from it. So this isn't quite complex enough, it seems to me, because a lot of this stuff is still just stuff. Let's see. I'm going to try adding some more genes because I feel like it just needs some more intentionally complex things going on. So I'm going to go ahead and go into I think we could use something like patterns and then go down to wool. Just want something that really gets some variety in there. So that's kind of interesting. Let me turn wool up. It's getting a little weird. Turn wool down. All right, I'm gonna add something else. Let's try medium objects. Disk break, make a child. So you can see now it's getting pretty unusual. Let me go into small objects. I'm going to choose candle. I'm going to hit make child. And I think I'll also add digital clock. Make child. I'm just trying to get a lot more genes in here. Okay, this is interesting. I was doing something like this the other day too. I didn't quite get it where I wanted, but oh, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and start playing Pretzel. Forgot to get some tunes going, but let's keep going with this. That's interesting, so I'm gonna zoom in on that, or select that essentially. And let's bring up Pretzel and get that going. Make more children. I feel like I need a lot more variety in what we're seeing here. You still see you have some of those things like we had before in there. Okay, this is interesting right here. And I'm not really feeling a lot of this stuff. Hey! Welcome, Tiny Pachyderm. So great to have you here. It's going pretty well. I've just been working on, we're doing a little bit more GAN breeding. I actually was doing this specifically because somebody I was talking to earlier that said they were going to be on here asked me to continue it, but I don't think that they're on right now, so I don't know if I'll spend too much more time on this. I don't know how much of you saw of this on Sunday. I know you did drop in while we were still on this, I think. I've been working on a sticker design today. Oh, cool. Feel welcome to post it in the Discord. Oh, by the way, I've been meaning to share the Discord on here again. Not that we have a huge crowd that'll make a difference, but just in case, I think Bruce was on here still. So I'll go ahead and invite here. Let's see, I'm not remembering how to do an invite. Let's see. I guess I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, there it is, invite members. Okay. So I'll just go ahead and add that on here. So what kind of sticker are you designing? What is the project for? Is it for something that that you need to do, or something you're just doing for fun? Is it sperm whale? Oh, cool. I'm gonna add the all right, I think that's right. Typed it in, so there's a chance it's off, but I think it's right. All right, so if anyone wants that isn't here, it's on Discord. You're invited to the Discord. And speaking of the Discord, I've added a new section, which is something we're going to look at today. It's going to be part of the stream. I'm thinking from now on where we're going to actually do sort of like episodic stories. It's going to be just a very, very short story. You can read it anytime. As soon as I'll post it a little bit before the stream. So if you want to read it, I saw Tiny Pachyderm had 100 in it, so you may have already read it too. But the idea is it's going to be kind of like an incremental, story that comes with a series of pictures that are generated in GAN Breeder. So I wanted to experiment with doing some. It's not quite the same as doing writing on here, but basically reading very short stories that I'll be creating each week. And I'm not feeling this one, and that happens sometimes when you're working from a fresh seed or a fresh gene set, whatever it's called. So I thought instead maybe I'll just pull up this one the last one I was working on here. Seemed to have a lot of variety in it, if I remember. I'm going to bring up the variation on it more because I was getting a lot of more abstract stuff out of this. Wow, it's looking really busy though. Oh, someone let me borrow their Wacom tablet, so I've been having fun with that. Oh, cool. So you're doing some digital art. That's great. Let's see. I'm going to pick this one. Make some more of those. All right. I think we're past the time, though. We are actually beyond the time I planned for this. That was one thing we were talking about earlier in the stream. I'll show you really quick. I had put together a schedule for this. So let's pull that up. I'm gonna just pull up Sketchbox, and oh, you can't see because I'm a little too close up. But I don't know how much of that you can see too. I'll have to push it back. So the idea was I wanted to try to have this kind of a arc where we start out more high key with more stuff going on, and then sort of wind down over the course of the stream. So you can see we're actually quite late because we're past 9 and we're not sketching yet. And that's okay. Maybe we won't get into the charcoal drawing this time. But yeah, I ran into some problems that kind of put me behind schedule earlier. But in any case, that's whoops, lost my window here. I think you guys can see me, but I can't see you. Okay. Oh, I've lost my chat. Yeah, so the next thing was going to be the Rubik solve. I think we lost Catlin, so I don't know if we have. But if you want to take a guess at the time, that's this is back behind us. I'm going to pull up. Oh, looks like we got a guess now, so I'll check. Okay, minute 32. Okay. Actually, let's see, where's my... I've got one right over here. Okay, so I'm a little bit slower with this one. This is actually the official Rubik's Cube, so you can adjust your time if you want to, because, yeah, there are two things, two facts you want to take into consideration today. One is that I'm a little slower with this Rubik's Cube. 147, okay. Wait, there's one other thing too that you'll want to take into consideration. I seem to have noticed that using GAN seems to cut down my time a little bit. I seem to have like a mental thing. Somehow using that tool affects my brain in a way that, although it might be better today, because I took a little bit of a break. I actually was having some difficulty sleeping and stuff, and I think it was partly because this, let's see, I gotta pull up my clock. I think that I was just getting a little too obsessed with GAN Breeder. I was doing it pretty much all the time. I could even do it on my phone. So I'd be walking somewhere or waiting in line somewhere, and I'd pretty much just do GAN breeding all the time. And I did that just intensely for a while. And I started to realize I was having some real difficulty, be able to stress not sleeping too well. And I realized I think that was part of it. But also on Sunday when we did the Rubik thing, I'd been going pretty much straight for quite a while on GAN Breeder, and my time was the worst I've ever seen on there. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can. There we go. See if I can stop sliding. Okay. So, I gotta mix it up first. Let's see. Just get this going. This out of the way. So, are you sticking with the minute 47, or are you gonna tick it up a little bit, knowing that I've just been on GAN Breeder? Although I think the break that I took a break for the whole day yesterday. Wait. I can't see. Did you say 47? A minute 47. Okay, you're sticking with a minute 47. Okay. All right. Okay, I think we're pretty good. I'm gonna just give it a few more. And I'm gonna mix up a little bit more. All right. So I get a moment to inspect. That's how it always works. Be some inspection. I get a chance to basically find all the pieces of the yellow edges and go. Okay. Let's see. And I just had them. Okay. See, it's a little sticky. As you can see, it's just not quite as what's going on? What happened? There we go. Finally. See, I've lost my edge. I broke my brain with GAN Breeder. Oh wait, that's not the right place for that. Let's see. I'm not doing that bad. there's still some chance. Oh, it's not looking that bad. I might make that time still. So that one's not good. Ugh. Oh, it's starting to look. What happened there? I don't know what happened there. Oh, I see what happened there. I did something weird. Oh, I went over your time. I'm sorry. Okay. See, I told you, my brain's not the same anymore. I've broken it with this site. Okay. No, that's not right. There we go. Done. 2 minutes 30. That was the time I had on Sunday. Oh. You're still the closest guess. I'm wasting time. That was a tough one. Okay, so that being done, we're going to do. I don't know if you were you here? I think you were when I did this. This was the one we did last time as that. Were you here for that? Training pachyderm. I think Rory was the one who picked that. But today I wanted. Nope, you don't remember that? Okay. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe you weren't there that time. But what I'm going to do a little bit different today is. I'm just going to do a Sharpie drawing because I'm trying to be a little bit more time efficient. I got to make up time basically. Why are the windows so tricky to adjust on here? Okay. So I'm going to give you, let's see, you can pick your own image on Pinterest if you want to just go and do a search. But I'm just going to go pull up, I have, let's see, I like this one. There are like lots of animals and also some like scenes and stuff. So I'm just going to go ahead and post that. But keep in mind, I'm going to be drawing this with, so it's a little smaller to try and make sure we get through the time. So I've got it just this size. I'm going to try to fill the whole paper this time because previously I've been kind of stopping short there and that's no good. But the other thing is I'm going to be just drawing it in pencil. Whatever happened to my blue pencil? I'm going to draw it in pencil and then I'm going to, oh, there it is. I got my blue pencil. Okay, so I'm just going to draw it in blue pencil and I'm going to go over it in a Sharpie. So go ahead. Do you want to pick out an image? I'll give you a little bit of time to pick an image. Just keep in mind it's going to be drawn in, okay, the humpback whales. That would be these guys right here. Why is it so small? All right, there we go. Oh yeah, you were doing sperm whales, right? Okay, just a sec. I've got to get. Oh, that doesn't matter. You can't see that. Okay, so I'm just gonna go a little bit bigger because it's a little annoying. No, that's too big. I guess that'll be enough. Okay. All right, and I'm gonna set myself a timer so I remember that I'm on schedule here. We are quite a bit over on time from what I showed you in Sketchbox, the outline for today. So I'm gonna pull up the timer. Let's see. Oops. I'm going to set a timer for, what should this be? Let's make this a 10-minute drawing. I forget, wait, what did I say? I can't remember what I said I was going to do. Let me check here really quick. I said 10, I said we were going to do 20 minutes. Okay. So, I'm sorry, I messed everything up there. Pull back up this, and then we should be good. Oh, but I also need my chat window. I lost that too. There we go. Okay, so that's the plan. I'm going to still give myself a 5-minute warning. Got the timer going here. I don't know if you guys want to see that. But why not? Trying to get this whole all the fit on here. Okay, so these guys, I want to make sure that I fill the whole paper because that's a problem I've been having in some of the earlier ones. This is a good pick for it. So I don't know if you got a chance to look at the story that I was starting, the episodic story in Gan Journal, or if the concept there is making sense. I posted a little bit about it in the general section, but I'm interested to know what you think about it, especially since my hope was to make it an interactive concept where multiple people could take over the story and write at different times. Just a sec, the music is a little, I don't know, this is kind of annoying me right now, so I'm going to see about switching to, let's just do ambient for a little bit. Okay. But yeah, I'd like to get feedback on that concept. It might take a little bit of time seeing it in action, see where the story goes, but and we could, if there's interest in doing something with it, but maybe people aren't interested necessarily in the story that I'm starting, or the constraints, if they're too constraining or not inspiring. Constraints are the most important thing to make something successful. So I'd like to know. You really can't see what I'm doing there, can you? I need to maybe push more. Well, you'll see in a minute when I go over with the Sharpie. This is a good pick for a Sharpie, I think. All right, so I get down to 2 minutes, which means I've got to kind of wrap. I'm getting pretty close with this, so I think I'm doing pretty good on time. This feels really scrunched, though. Does it seem that way to other people, or maybe this line's just in the wrong place? Maybe I just need to tighten this all up. Yeah. Oh, I seem to have lost my eraser. Oh, here it is. Okay, so there's some correction that needs to happen down here. I think the size is okay. Or if it's not, I could, let's see, just needs to descend more there. That's really off. Oh, it's just really off. Okay, this is going to be like here. You can see I'm starting to fix it, I think. Maybe there's a problem with this thing being quite, this should be a little bit more out. All right, there's a little bit more detail missing that probably needs to be figured out here, but let's see, I'm going to start another 5-minute timer. A lot of stuff sort of going on there. Okay. Okay. It's got all these bumpy things I hadn't noticed my first pass. So you feel how the stream's starting to wind down as I'd planned it in the thing, that we'd open up with a lot of activity and topics, and then gradually the stream winds down. All these little bumpy things on his nose. Lots of little whale warts or whatever they are on a whale. I'm still here, by the way, just multitasking. Cool. Whale warts. Yeah, if you get a chance, I'd like to hear what you think. Well, we could wait until after I do the GAN journal story, because I was particularly interested in what you think about it, because it's a writing project, and I was hoping it might be a interactive writing project, and I want to kind of figure out what constraints would make it. Like, the idea is that it's a very low effort, low commitment, because you're really just writing very short oh yeah, no worries. Well, the plan is I'm going to be reading the first installment of the story on stream tonight. But the question of the overall format of it and stuff, that you can go ahead and take your time and think about that later on when you have time. But yeah, we're going to be doing one installment tonight, and the idea is there will be a new episode for every stream. And I've written a series of them to get us started. But my hope was that it might possibly become a collaborative thing, and that people could take their hand at writing it. It's very similar to the idea of what Orange Monkey Art started on Kitslam's channel, but it's a little bit less. That's pretty good. I think that'll work. It's a little bit less kind of like random. I feel like sometimes that can be a little it happens kind of like at random throughout the stream. You don't know when it's going to happen, you know. People enjoy it, but I thought maybe having it be a little bit more methodical and kind of planned as a part of the stream, and only one per episode and stuff would make it interesting. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do the Sharpie. How do I not have a Sharpie here? All right, hang on while I search for Sharpie. Oh, here it is. Here's my Sharpie. All right, gotta make sure that I actually have it. Oh, we're just about on time there. Okay, yeah, that's perfect. That's exactly the amount of. It's nice, fresh Sharpie. Okay, so I'm gonna give myself another 5 minutes. And the plan is going to be boy, there's a lot of detail there. I thought by making this smaller that I would force myself to kind of keep it simpler. And I think I will. I'm gonna stick with just, because if I go to the other point, this is it'll take a lot longer than the time we have. So I'm just gonna go in here and start filling in the areas where I can see that there's a clear sharp dark color. And so there's intentional simplification that's going on here, and that's okay. So I'm trying to force myself to do that, right? I have to tell myself that, because I'm like, no, there's more detail there. But I'm not copying. I'm trying to create something new. It's a little bit different, and that's okay. My Stuart Smalley impression there. It's good enough, and it's smart enough. And God darn it, people will like it. Okay, I'm not. Actually bringing that up, I'm not sure if that's the right proportion, but I think that is about right. So I made a correction there. See a little bit of the eye right there, but I'm not sure that it'll come out. Okay, so this should all fill in. You're really not going to be able to see that eye there. Maybe just slightly. Okay, finally done working tonight. Can finally settle in. That's great. That's a good feeling when you finally have everything taken care of. Thanks for tuning in. It's always good to have you here. Oh, 46 seconds. It's coming down to it. All right. All right, and now 5 more minutes. Okay, so it looks like I might be going over on time. I could try and make up time a little bit now, but I kind of feel like kind of on the schedule. Kind of set it a pace. Might be able to pull it up, but we'll see. Just trying to figure out whether I want to indicate lines for where it turns to blue. If I'd rather that it kind of just goes out like that, you know. But I already did that line right there, which doesn't really exist, so maybe I need to stick with that decision. Gotta live with your decisions that you make here. All right. I think I'm gonna try to go for not drawing all the lines. I think that's gonna be a better result, even if I did already do a line that I regret. That's okay. But you have to kind of represent what's happening in shading there, I think. I don't know. So I didn't notice before, but there seems to be a little bit of the tail going out there. It's just straight black, really, actually. Oh yeah, I'm not leaving. I posted my sticker design to Discord. You can check it out when you're done with these whales. All right, that'll be fun. I need to get Discord up on the computer so we can review them properly, but I don't know if I have. Actually, I think I did put Discord on. I wonder if it has my credentials. We'll give it a shot and see how that works. coming down on a minute. We'll see how close we can get. Well, there's our timer. I'm just gonna see how much time we go over, because I don't know how much longer it's gonna take, but I think we're getting pretty close. I don't know if that quite left enough of a. We'll try to have a little bit of a line through there and try to get those whale warts proper. There we go. Pretty close, yeah. It's getting there. Oh, most of the subtleties I was trying to get in there are not coming through, but that's all right. It's been a while since I was drawing with a Sharpie, so I've lost the knack. What's going on? I'm losing my touch with the Rubik's Cube, and I'm forgetting how to draw with a Sharpie. Get it together, man. Okay. You've been infected. Turns out Gunbeater is actually uploading AI algorithms straight into your brain. Yeah, this is how somebody was telling me that this is how I was recounting my woes a little bit to somebody at work, and they said that this is how the AIs actually take over. They don't do it with war machines and Terminators. They do it with art generating addictive experiences. They've probably been observing. They've been observing how we how little control we have when it comes to like social networks and stuff, and they said we just need something that is like Pinterest but allows us to take over their brains. You're drawing and focusing on the photo, and next thing you know, you look back at your drawing and it's actually some bizarre I'm not really how to pronounce that. Amalgamation of other creatures and not whales at all. Yep, exactly. I only thought that I landed on whales with my attempts at GAN breeding, but I was all imagining it. Or maybe they're using it to study our. They're like it's sort of like I was saying earlier that they're kind of like Rorschach tests. They're using it to try to understand, figure out how we think and what makes us. They're really conducting experiments on us, psychological studies. Oh, this all needs to fill in up in here. All right, 5 minutes. We're over by 5 minutes. I think we're done. I think that's it. Let's see, we can do a little bit more, I think. A little bit more indication right here, I think. There we go. Yeah, that's pretty good. I like it. That was fun. Good pick. So there we go. I'll take a picture for. Oh, stop. We're by about 5 minutes. So that's 25 minutes. So we're a little behind tonight, but not too bad. I'm going to go into Discord and pull up under artwork. Get to see. Oh, that is so cool. Oh, you can't see it properly here. Let me see if we can see it properly here now. That is really neat. Wow, is that really how so that's how their skeletons are, huh? All this up in here. Oh, right, that would be and then that must be cartilage up in there. Oh, this is so cool. Are you going to sell them somewhere? Or? Oh, very cool. Maybe on, let's see. I'm going to take a photo. So close. I got it so it finally fills up the paper. And now it doesn't quite fit. Here, I'm just gonna throw some stuff behind it. So, oh, that doesn't work either. There we go. Just put a little bit of paper behind it so I can go ahead and just shoot it at the whole thing. I guess this is not really making much of a difference, is it? Oh, you can't even see what I'm doing. Maybe, oh, you kind of can. All right, that'll do. Oh, it didn't, for some reason it rotated it. It's strange because it doesn't rotate it when I'm looking at it here. There we go. It's a little better. Use photo. All right. That was fun. Okay, so that brings us to our next segment, which is going to be the GAN journal. I'm going to turn the music off for this. And let's see. I actually have, I have the story here in Discord, so I'll bring that up so I can read it. But I also have the image here. Let's see if I can see if this is, zoom in, scale this so you can kind of see it better. That's pretty much the image right there. There we go. That's pretty much the whole image right there. Okay, so I'm going to step through these images as I read this story. Let's see. I missed some comments first. I should have them in a couple weeks. I read that. The multicolor outside is going to be reflective holographic. Oh, so that's, you're just indicating that there, but that's actually going to be, oh, that's going to be cool. The blue bits in the head is a lot of oil and brain bits. This would probably be too much to ask, but do you remember in school when they had the stickers that actually had oil in them? That would be awesome if you could do that. That's probably too much to ask. It's awesome enough with just the holographic stuff. So, okay. So this is this week's episode. I don't even know what you're referring to. Oh, you don't remember that? Like, okay. Oh, you're probably so this was in the 80s. So this might be after. This is probably after your time. Yeah, because you're in school now. So this is way after that. I mean, this is way before your time. This is after your anyway. In the 80s, they had these. Never mind. It's nostalgic and it means nothing to somebody who didn't experience it. Okay. So this is the story. This is the image. So the image is illustrating the story. It's going to be a very short story. I'm just going to read it and step through the images as we go. Let's see if I can. Okay, yeah, so we can step through them. So I'll just read through it and I'll step through them as the story progresses. We happened on excuse me. We happened on an abandoned village where it first appeared we'd struck gold. Well-preserved ancient tech. On closer inspection, the former inhabitants were several centuries beyond the Atrian period. Just more backward hill people who'd fashioned functionless techno replicas as the shrines of their ancestor-worshipping cult. Fool's gold. Spent 2 days there. I was reluctant to accept the facts, as Felix spotted the signs first and stated it all in that super dry way of his. Or superior dry way of his, sorry. I swear I could have cried. I think that might be the last one. Yeah, that's the last one. So that's it. That's the story. Awesome, thanks. Glad you like it. Yeah, so the idea is the stories are illustrated by the pictures, and then I'm going to do a series of 8 of these. It's going to be a story that goes on in sequence. Exactly, micro flash fiction. But it's actually micro episodes. The fiction itself will be more, it'll accumulate as the story goes. And then we'll figure out if people want to jump in and write some. We can figure out whether people want to just take the form and drop the characters. It is intended, I'm setting it up so that you could keep the characters and do pretty much anything you want with it from the place where I'm thinking of seeing if anyone else wants to jump in. But we'll see. Anyway, I'm having a lot of fun with it. I don't know if we'll see how it develops. But that is the GAN journal. And now, what time is it? It's getting a little late, but we might go ahead and start the next drawing anyway. I wanted to have some time dedicated to doing a longer term, doing a bigger project of drawing. This always drives me nuts. Need to inspect. Oops, no, sorry. If I inspect this, I can actually remove it. Their header is always too big when I zoom in. So I'm just going to delete that. Oops, didn't delete enough. There we go. Got it. Okay, so our options. I've got this rhino. We got this curious owl. I like that it has emotion. That it just has, I don't know, there's something quirky about that guy. We've got this elephant. That's actually very detailed. This thing's going to be quite a project. And then the other one I was thinking about possibly doing is this very angry, oh, is it a leopard? I think it's a leopard. So let's see. Let me work on this for a while, so I should pick wisely. Well, how long I work on it also depends on the one I pick, though. And what did I just finished a horse, and before that we did a betta fish, and I don't think I've done a bird, so the owl is seeming interesting. Probably gonna do the owl, but before that I'm gonna take a very short break, and I'll be right back. All right, I'm back, and I'm gonna draw. Oh, I need to pull up the. Oh, there's our horse from before. Only thing about this. I hate having to tear it off the paper, but I may do a quick. I think I'm going to do one quick study. Actually, kind of got away from doing studies previously, and I think that's a mistake. It's just good form to do studies. So, actually, before I do that, though, I just need to check my sanity and make sure that those oil stickers that I remember so fondly actually existed, because let's see, 80s oil stickers. Yeah, they have them. See, they had like rainbow colors in them and stuff. They were really, that's not how I remember them being, though. I don't know. I guess you don't really get the effect unless you see it in person. I guess that's kind of what it looked like. I mean, I would have expected them to be more yeah, so that's it. Yeah, I mean, I expect them to be a little more topical, right? Like they had all these puffy stickers. Like I remember maybe a Care Bears one or something. Or all kinds of. Anyway, you were born in the very late 80s. Okay, Did this thing come back? I thought I just removed that. Because it was just, it bothers me. There we go. Okay. So we're going to do just some studies real quick. Since we're not on black paper, I can actually use the light without it messing things up too bad. Let's see if that works a little bit better. And I'm gonna, oops, just extend that down a bit and scroll it a bit. All right. Ah, Windows is so annoying. Sorry, I'm just trying to get back to the window here. Okay, so let's just start sketching this guy. We're on time. I did start late, so I'll go ahead and go at least as late as I started. Can't remember if does it give me a timer to tell me how long I've been on. Oh, it tells me right here. Okay. Those are some big irises he's got there. I don't know if Ganbreeder's left me with the ability to draw. We'll see. No, wait, I just did whales. They were fine. Whales were fine. They turned out good. Yeah, I didn't know whether they'd stop doing it, if those were an 80s thing, or if they'd stop making those, because, you know, you don't really collect stickers after the owl's so derpy. Yes. I wonder if this owl really is silly, if he's just a character. Maybe he takes himself very seriously. Would be very annoyed to know our opinions of him. Well, let's texture down here. I think it's better to do a study and, you know, take a couple passes at it, because, you know, there aren't a lot of things that, like most other creative endeavors, you don't, like for example, music, you know, you wouldn't just sit down and play one song once and be like, there, I did it, I've got that, you know. Musicians actually play songs many times until they really get it down. I think visual art could learn from that too. In fact, that's what the masters did back in the day. If you go and see how they created some of those amazing paintings from like the pre-Raphaelites and all that, those, they didn't just sit down and do a masterpiece at once. They worked up to it and did a lot of passes, kind of informing their knowledge of the subject that they were doing. They would do studies first, and that's what I'm trying to force myself to remember to do, to not think that I'm just going to sit down and do everything perfectly in one go. Let me give myself some more room to practice and grow and learn. I'm guessing that you hit the return button. Yeah. So you got is that, I remember you were getting a new computer like a while ago, right? So you could do that. Is this that computer, or do you have a computer since then? Actually, I shouldn't interrupt. You had a thought that you were trying to get out, obviously. Typing on the computer I've been streaming on. I use my other one for classes usually. I see, yeah. Well, I'm also working on trying to be more patient with my art and allow myself to experience and enjoy the mistakes. Awesome, good for you. Yeah, it can be a challenge because, you know, I think a lot of artists tend to be perfectionists, and a big part of growing and developing as an artist is being more open to the things that allow growth, which is making mistakes and developing your work. Okay, I think this study kind of captures the essence, and there's some more stuff going on in the feathers down here, but I think that kind of gets the gist of it. And see, I did omit a little bit of detail up here in the eyes that I might want. You can see obviously there's a lot of shading in here, that subtlety that I'm missing, but that's okay. I think I'm going to do another one that kind of just focuses more on the structure of this drawing. Kind of breaks it down. Not trying to draw it so much as just trying to draw through it a little bit more. So there's this thing going on, and then there's this thing going on. Okay, so then these eyes really are, like when I'm drawing through something, I want to kind of draw the whole eyeball, so I kind of understand how they're fitting in the head a little bit more. I think these are really huge. That might be a little too big there though. This might be kind of more like it. And then there's this. Yeah, time. I'm probably not going to actually get into the actual. I'm probably going to start outlining it. I may not get into drawing the in white charcoal tonight. We'll see how far we get. Speaking of the 80s, owls always remind me of the movie Clash of the Titans. It was a big deal when I was a kid. I remember, I think when I was 8 was when it was a big deal. Or another movie from the 80s that I think of when I think of owls is Blade Runner, which I don't think I saw in the 80s. I think that was, although I saw movies that you probably shouldn't have little kids watch. It's like much more common. Oh man, Blade Runner. Yeah, where is that? That owl in the early scene. It's like a. In the scene when he meets, what was her name? I had to look up Tremors, 1990 almost. Yeah. Tremors, I remember that. I saw Tremors in the theater. I think they made a few of them actually. That was not the kind of concept though that really stand up through a lot of. It was like they were like, we've got the next shark or next Jaws, and it wasn't quite. Other Jaws, I'm surprised they made so many of that either. I recently showed my son. I think we talked about this on all my previous streams. I'm repeating myself now. I'm just like the grandpa that just keeps telling the same stories over and over again. Yeah. Okay, so that's drawing through it a little bit more. It gives me a bit more of a sense of, okay, so now there's this thing going on. Their feathers up here. It's almost like he's wearing a Zorro mask. I noticed how some of the other people I'm following on Twitch are spending, you know, they really will spend a lot of time on projects. You know, like I asked somebody, I saw something cool, the painting somebody was working on, and they've been working on it for a couple weeks, and it still had, it was like maybe halfway through. It looked like there was quite a bit to go. I think they said it was maybe a week and a half. And I thought it was, of course, it was big. It was like 4 feet by, which is something also I'd like to try give a shot on. This is to work in a much larger form factor, do something really, you know, epic. Well, not epic, but you know, something where, you know, the scale of it improves the overall accuracy. Okay, I think that's giving a pretty good. I guess I could just do a little bit of there's that kind of stuff going on there. Okay. Okay. That's a little bit more drawing through it, so I think that's good. Okay. Okay, so I gotta take that way back because actually I should turn it down. There we go. I need a little bit of the light to be able to see the paper in person, but it doesn't show up very well on camera when I do that. So I'm gonna keep it. I don't know if you guys, you're probably not gonna be able to see it very well with it being on black anyway, so maybe more light would be good. Boy, it's pretty hard to see though. Okay, so going back to the details in here. I really have a hard time seeing that there. Let me go ahead and see. His nose is going really, he's got like a gonzo thing going on with his nose. It's really off. It's like, let's see. Well, his head must be turned a little further, like the feathers maybe because they're fluffy aren't quite turning as much as his nose is. I mean, his nose isn't crooked, is it? It must be a little bit that maybe his head's turned up a little bit. Why did Windows take away that little bit of screen that I wanted down there? There we go. Oh, there's more. There's more down there. Okay, as I need that. I kind of ran out down here and was worried that I'd run out of image, that my picture wasn't gonna fit. Oh, which makes me realize. Oh wait, let's see. Let's go back up. Yeah, there's some room up there at the top. Might have been better to push them up a little bit more, but that'll be fine. Really struggling with seeing it here. I'm just gonna have to turn the light onto it so I can really see it. Yeah, now I can see it. Maybe if I turn it like that, we'll see a little bit better. You guys probably can't really see anything either, can you? I can just get the light reflecting off a little bit more. In the past, I didn't have much trouble with this. I don't know why it's so hard today. You can kind of see what I'm doing there. I trust it'll come together. Great, that's what we need, just some faith. Some faith and, well, also a lot of effort. But on the audience's part, mostly faith. Okay, I think that's working. Probably need to indicate more of these feathers so I have more of an idea how to come down into here. Okay. Alright, well, I feel like having gotten this far, I should at least at least start with the white charcoal. So there's that. And then I suppose I'll start, as I usually do, with the eyes. Oh, that light is pointing at the camera. Oh, I just realized I need to sharpen this pencil. There are those times where you're sharpening a pencil and it just seems like it's not getting sharp. As long as it doesn't break, I should be fine. Alright, here we go. Not the cord interfering with my. There we go. Yeah, it seems okay. Not bad. I could barely see the paper when I was drawing it, but I'm measuring and checking, and it's pretty close proportionally. It's my new drawing training method. Just draw in total darkness, not be able to see what you're doing. You know, it's like the Mr. Miyagi approach to art. Put you in a dark room. I just figured out how to draw with no light at all. It's looking actually a little small though. A little squished. This one over here is more round. Although it's not as round as the actual thing, but that's right. I don't know, maybe I could correct it. That's a little spooky. Yeah, looks about right. I think it kind of establishes the main points. It's, I think, as far as I'm gonna get this evening, but we'll pick it up on Sunday. So I guess we need to figure out who we're gonna raid. So please stick around for the raid. I'm going to pause this. Alright, so we are going to go to Twitch, see who we want to raid. from the people over here. I Paint Creatures is drawing. Freakmeister is drawing. Nolan Brooks is drawing. Got Auroral Games. Echo Sith. Amanda Ruth art. Leah Rose art. And Purdy Mouth. I don't remember following Purdy Mouth. That's interesting. So probably Leah Rose, I'm thinking. Oh, hey, Bruce Wayne. Well, I've been working on, if you missed it, I can show you. I did some studies for this owl, and you can see the owl. Oh, I guess I took it down. Oh, also I did this whale. These two whales, I mean, were Tiny Pachyderm's pick after she won the Rubik's Cube thing, and then I'm just starting on the actual drawing of the owl here. So that's just barely started, but that's what we've got for that. So yeah, that's what we did, and then also we did a little bit of GAN breeding. I think you were here earlier when I was doing the GAN breeding art. And oh, actually, this is interesting. When I left here, I didn't think anything was looking that good here, but now I think I want to keep this one. I don't know about you guys, but you probably can't see it so well unless I switch to this. Now that I'm looking at this again, this looks like maybe a bear, and this could be a computer that has been like sort of graffitied on, like a computer screen, but it could also be like a painting, and it's like him and he's sitting there with his canvas that he's been painting. But I don't know, there is a lot of this. It does take a fair amount of imagination to see that, but I like it. I'm gonna keep that one. And then there's something interesting going on here. I can't tell what it is, but there's something interesting here, and maybe also down here. Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm seeing there, but it is interesting. Yeah, see, this was what I was talking about earlier, is that some images you get to a certain point and there's a lot of variety that you get from that gene set as you keep hitting refresh, because sometimes even when you have it cranked up to different, you don't get much difference. This is kind of interesting too, but I don't know, it's a little abstract for my taste. I mean, everything here is a little abstract, but it's a little I can't quite tell what I'm seeing here. I don't like it when people start to show up with details in the face and stuff, because they're a little disturbing. That's what's starting to happen here, or limbs and fingers and stuff. Those can be kind of gross. But I like this. I don't know what it is. I like the whales. I can't tell you either. You can't tell me what I'm seeing there either. Yeah, it's but some of these look a little bit like a rock concert scene, maybe. Like maybe I'm taking it from the lighting, but there's like a stage up there and some stuff is being set up and somebody's standing in the foreground. But you can almost see face details there. I don't think they're facing away. I think they're facing you, or maybe it's a person with a skull mask. Maybe it's just obscure enough that it doesn't upset me. But some of them, I'm just like, don't do that. And some people who do a lot of GAN breeding, that's like the whole thing they focus on. They just look at trying to make faces. That's actually a pretty good face right there. But I don't like it. Anyway, so that's it. We did some GAN breeding. Good times. Anyway, let's get back to raiding. We're going to raid. And let's raid. I was thinking, oh, it was too slow, and it looks like we missed. I was going to say Rose. Yeah, Leah Rose went. No, that's not it. Yeah, I thought Leah Rose was on here, and they seem to have gone. We could also, I haven't rated Nolan Brooks in a while either. If anyone has an idea, let's go. Yeah, we gotta go and raid. Watching an ad. Can't believe I'm streaming an ad right now, but I want to see the stream. See what they're working on. It's kind of like an anime type thing. Yeah, I do enjoy some of her stuff, but I think. Okay, Nolan Brooks is actually drawing. I mean, not drawing. She's not drawing. She's gaming. And what game is this? Death Mountain. I think I'm gonna try to stay on topic, and that leaves us with, I think, the best pick is Auroral Games. I'm a huge fan of Auroral Games. She's working on a game called Motu right now. The dev that she works on, she's a designer dev pair. She designs these games, and the dev that she's working with is usually in the chat, so it's pretty cool. You're going to see this whole game develop. It's really one of my favorite things. I watch her stream a lot, and so I'm going to go to the dashboard. Here we'll go ahead and switch to this for the good night. Oh, you know what I do need to do though is I need to get the call sign together. So let's go ahead and do that. It's Twitch raid followed by Subcreation radiation, and then we're gonna do more of that. Yeah, thanks for joining me. It was a lot of fun. Please stick around at least for a bit of the raid, just to support the community out there and what we've got. This is the call sign, so go ahead and copy that in there. I'm gonna be doing my own version of this with my thing, so don't worry, you don't have to do this because you have to have subscription level 1 to do it, but I'm just going to post it here as a test. Actually, I gotta make sure I copy it too. I keep doing a thing where I get this all copied and then I go into the thing, and oh, you know, the other thing I need to do so I don't have to wait through the break, I should go ahead and load up my own channel so I can see it when it happens. Okay, good. We're good. All right. So that's it. Oh, you can't copy in your cell phone. I'm sorry. Well, you can just say say raid or whatever. All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining tonight. I covered quite a bit of ground. We stuck mostly to the schedule that I outlined in Sketchbox at the beginning. We ran a little over it, but that's fine. The idea of having structure isn't to keep it completely, just like the idea of doing a rendering isn't to reproduce the image exactly. It's just to have some guides and to give you some direction. And so that's what we did. We did we did quite a bit of variety today, and we had fun. So I really appreciate everyone joining. and I'll hopefully see you on Sunday, or actually, hopefully see you sooner if you stream yourself. I'll be keeping an eye out for a stream by you, Tiny Pachyderm. Really enjoyed our time together tonight. I'll see you guys. See you guys later. Let me pull up. Let's see, what do I do? Okay, I'm trying to raid rural games. And all right, I'll see you guys later, and please enjoy rural games tonight. Bye. See. Right, and rating.